Hi guys, welcome back to another Bourbon Santa video. Midwinters has arrived. It's time for Shakespeare in the Park, the once a year magical release from High West. As you guys probably know by now, I'm a big High West fanboy. And Midwinters is a release that I look forward to every single year since I got into bourbon, whiskey, and rye and all that. And I'm always excited to see what each year is going to be like. Now, I've had Act 4 through 8, and now 9, of course. And this just arrived, and these came straight from the distillery. A friend of mine, Corbett, was generous enough to grab these from me. Jeez, I cannot speak. For me from the distillery. And super excited about having it. And I'm getting these about a month earlier than they normally show up in Florida. So, awesome. Now, as you can see, I put a little dent in this with Corbett yesterday and my buddy Dave. And we definitely tested this one out a little bit. So, I thought today I would do a full review of the new Act 9, and I have Act 8 and Act 7 that I can compare it to see if the new one is significantly better, worse, same, and just see what we've got for this year's release. So first, let's just nose Act 9 and taste Act 9 and see what we think of it before we start comparing it. It is so dark and fruity, and that port finish, ruby port and tawny port, on the Rendezvous Rye from High West. Oh, it's so dark and luscious. And the rye is just singing, like sizzling. It's so sweet, but yet it doesn't come across overly sweet or artificially sweet or chemically sweet. It just comes across like with a fruity sweetness, like you're eating fresh fruit. And one thing that's really funny about it is it feels almost like a cognac finish. It's port, I get that, it's not cognac, but it kind of reminds me of a cognac finish, the way it feels to my senses. It's very dark, chocolatey, really nice hearty bread. Oh, with all that fruitiness and jamminess and just viscous, super oily. Let's taste. Oh, the rye to finish ratio from like the original whiskey to the finish is just perfectly matched. I think it's just an amazing finish, not overdone at all. Wow. Super soft, super luxurious, super creamy, really mouth coating and viscous, mouth watering, very fruity, very jammy, really nice rye. You feel the rye in your chest, you feel the rye in your throat. It's spicy without being difficult to drink. It's still super approachable. And that nose. It's so weird because I get the port and I feel the port, but it almost hits like a cognac. I don't know. It's just luscious. Let's compare. So let's compare to 8 first. This is last year's. This, for those of you that were in the Advent calendar I did last year, this is what we drank on Christmas Day. And this, I went through quite a few bottles of this. One of my favorite releases from last year. Wow. Huge difference on the nose. This has got, Act 9 has a stronger rye presence. 8 is just the dark aspects that I'm getting in 9 with a kind of an emptier rye presence. Oh, yeah. Oh, enormous difference. 9 makes 8 look bad. Wow, 8 comes across empty on the palate compared to 9. 9's got so much going on. It's zinging. It's huge, huge flavors, waves of flavors. And 8 just hits you and then melts away into a finish. It doesn't have all of that going on. So let's try 7. Seven is much more rye, less finish, and honestly, compared to these two, it's interesting because I cracked this 7 open recently, and the first taste out of it that night, I was really impressed. I was like, wow, this is better than I remember. But when comparing 7 to the 8 and the 9, 7 does not perform well. 7 has a little chemical sweetness to it and a little harshness, a little bitterness. And the nose is a little rough. Interesting. I don't remember it being like that. Maybe it's just in comparison to these. This is fuller than 7. And then 9 is even... Wow. Oh, 9's wonderful. Oh, the rye, each progressive sip of it I have, the rye is more and more luscious and round and full and just giving you a ride. And then the nose feels like cognac. It's so weird. I've never had a port finish that presented like a cognac. That's fascinating. Well, Act 9, absolute banger. And in my opinion, better than 8 and 7. Well, these are the only other 2 that I have at the moment. There's a 6 that's available near me. It's a little overpriced, but I'm probably going to have to go ahead and grab it to get 6 back into the collection. I need to find another 8 somewhere because I'm dangerously low on 8. But, wow. 9 is an absolute hitter. So when you see it this year, grab you some. This was Act 9, Scene 1, straight from the distillery. Thanks, Corbett, for grabbing this bottle for me. Thank you for watching this review. Until next time, have a great day.